Hello, Windsor family. It is the week of January 11th, and this is your update. Okay, families, let's spend some time going over that homework assignment that the superintendent sent home. The 2 pages with all the charts and graphs for the COVID re-entry information. I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you and what it means for Windsor Middle School. So, as you're probably aware, there was a announcement from the governor saying that there's a possibility that we could be bringing kids back to our schools as early as March 15th because we do have 6th graders, and that there would be providing grants and based on a 7-day period where there was less than 28 cases per 100,000 residents. Now, that announcement was made, but there has not been any specific legislation or direction on how that would actually be implemented. So Windsor Middle School and Windsor Unified is still going based off of the original county metrics until that changes. As a reminder, the plan is to do what's a phased approach. And so none of this happens until we move from the purple to the red tier. And so for Windsor Middle School students in phase 1, we would be bringing back some students. That would be our NCC, our emotionally behaviorally disabled students, and our special day classes. So that every single one of those students have what's called an IEP, or an individualized education plan, and would be working directly with special education staff. In that phase 2 for us, we would be bringing back our English learners. And so they would be still attending school on campus, but for most likely many of their classes for all of those students would still be on Zoom, but they'd be able to use these classroom facilities and have that routine, which we believe would help improve both attendance and achievement. Phase 3 is when it gets the selection of students is a little more subjective, meaning that it's based on our foster homeless, but then also our high needs students. So that could be students that are unable to be successful learning at home and may need to be brought to the school site, still attending class on Zoom. That's not going to change, but being able to have that routine, and as well as using our facilities, our Wi-Fi, and any school supplies that are necessary. It's not until phase 6 that Windsor Middle School would then be bringing on the general students. That would be, first group would be our 6th graders coming in. They're housed between 2 teachers, so it would be easy to do some kind of hybrid mashup depending on what the rules and regulations were for bringing back on students. So our 6th grade really can follow an elementary model, which is why it would open up the same time as Brooks, and then after that would be our grades 7 and 8. So it's already going into January 11th. Whether we would execute all of these phases would really depend on, of course, the vaccine, because that could move us quickly from the purple tier to the red tier and allow us to move through all of these phases very quickly. So our school educators are being moved up to a tier of 1B, which means that as soon as they're done with the current group of frontline workers and medical workers, that the educators would have access to the vaccine. But there's a number of things that still need to be worked out, including administering the vaccine, where it'll take place, whether or not it's going to be required, and then how long will it take to get everyone vaccinated. So the 1B has not been fully planned out yet by the county, so we don't have any specifics to really set a timeline. So with all that being said, what's going to change over the next couple of weeks? Nothing. We are still in purple. I believe the county has just extended their lockdown for at least an additional month. So we'll still continue to focus on our distance learning and providing the best possible educational experience that we can. But here's some good news. We are going to be sending home some survey information to your students for next year in terms of picking those electives. So that will be coming out in February, and we'll also be coordinating with the high school to get you information on registration and everything that will need to happen for our 8th graders. Now, immediately this week on Wednesday, we're taking that iReady test again. We're taking it in math this Wednesday, taking it in reading the following Wednesday. Now, this test is very important, and this is why, because we're going to be using those scores for placement in next year's classes, including 8th graders who are going off to the high school. The high school is going to be using those scores for evaluating placement and whether or not they need to be in a more supportive class, an on-grade level class, or be advanced. So it's very important for all students to do as well as they can on the test over the next 2 Wednesdays. Also on Wednesday at 10 a.m., we're going to be providing a counseling presentation for 7th and 8th graders just to remind all of the students what's available and if there's any support needed where they can get that help. That's it. That's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, bwilliams@wusd.org. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.